It's round 2 for the Lucas Oil Pro Pulling League in Saluda, South Carolina. In round 1, the drivers faced a tricky track, and for the unlimited Superstock tractors, it took veteran eyes to solve the red clay. Lifelong puller Lyall Hull edged out the equally experienced Ron Bargy Sr. and Neil Gettinger to ride his classic Minneapolis Moline to the top of the podium. While the two-wheel drive truck class saw the Mattingly camp repeat last year's Saluda successes. Now, with another night on the red dirt, which drivers can figure this track out? Don't go away. Round 2 starts now.
Truck and tractor pulling, the ultimate test of power. Professional pullers compete using custom-built vehicles with thousands of horsepower to see who can pull a multi-ton weighted sled the farthest. The sled is adjusted for each class to make the competition a fair test of power and the driver's skill. There's no practice in pulling. Every decision a team makes before each pull is critical to competing for a class championship. In a long season full of highs and lows, teams dedicate hundreds of hours to maintenance, travel, and repair. This is professional pulling with the Lucas Oil Pro Pulling League.
We're in Saluda, South Carolina. Welcome to the Geico Saluda Young Farmer Truck and Tractor Pull presented by E3 Spark Plugs. Ken Stout and Leslie Mears here to call the action for you. A couple of big-time classes, including the Unlimited Superstockers, are in the house, and the super modified two-wheel drive trucks a little bit later on in the show.
And these Unlimited Superstocks are so exciting, 8,000 pounds. And they've got that super awesome racy sheet metal. You're getting a view there of the driver's seat, but all the complexities under the hood there. You can see the twin turbos on top in the first stage, feeding into that huge bottom charger. And then, of course, they've got this amazing complex fuel system that's going to deliver 5 gallons of alcohol during the length of the run. Just amazing.
It is amazing technology for sure as we kick things off here with our first puller, Lyall Hull, who is the defending winner from 1 round ago. Leslie spoke with him earlier.
One of our more veteran pullers here is Lyall Hull. And Lyall, you started pulling in 1973. What were your roots? What was your first vehicle out there?
It was a Massey 101. And then I changed it over to a V8, put a Buick V8 in it. And then shortly after that, I started driving the 5-star Minneapolis Moline, and we call that the Northern Star. And I put alcohol on it. I came out with the first alcohol system in 1976. And so that's a little bit of the history from then on. It was the Northern Star all the way up until 85 when I came out with the G1000.
Now, what's so special about the Minneapolis Moline to you and why you keep running this?
Well, my dad used to be the dealer. He sold them from 55 until 74. So I grew up with him when I went to school and stuff. I was wrenching on Molines at night, and that's kind of how I fell in love with Molines.
And I think that many people did, as I know we actually had a Minneapolis Moline on my parents' farm in Ohio as well.
It's just great to hear the history, and so cool. I mean, this guy's been around for a long, long time. Arguably the first unlimited superstocker in history, converting things over to alcohol. Boy, you could hear that thing cackling as he was sitting there getting ready to go. He launches that thing, some 322 and 91, and the defending winner from the pole 1 round to go has sent a message to the rest of the field. He's back again to play today.
And just amazing how he picked it up off the line, carried that front end. Even once you see that General Tire box top off in the back, the front end still carrying out there and extending that distance. 322 and change on a first pass is really going to make our officials scratch their heads here and reconsider the sled setting that they have on the sled.
Woo, man, he's getting it done right off the bat. It's so cool to see that tractor because it is unique and different than everything else out here. Come out here and do so well. There's a look at our pulling order here today. You can see Jeff Hurt has back-to-back tractors here. That will keep him very busy. He's a defending champion, in fact, a two-time champion from the last 2 years on both of those tractors, one for each year. So Neil Gettinger, certainly no pushover. This field is stacked with the best of the best. And here comes Jeff Hurt now, finishing first 1 year ago behind the wheel of this tractor called Runnin' Bear. Now, when I say he finished first a year ago, I mean at this particular pull. He actually won the championship on the fast lane tractor. Not to be confused. It is easy to confuse, obviously, with these two and having the same driver. But Jeff will come out here at 3:02 and 56 with that big V8 and lays up way short of Lyall Hull.
Yeah, and he broke at the prior hook, and so just still trying to figure out all the problems and the changes that they made over the course of the winter to try to get Runnin' Bear to run consistently, because that was the issue that they had all last season. They could not get that tractor to run consistently at its best.
And you can see Jeff Hurt heading over to the other tractor. We had a chance to sit down and speak with him a little bit earlier in the day about his thoughts on winning the championship 1 year ago.
Didn't really sink in till it was over. I mean, maybe when we sat there and did the interview there at Wheatland, I mean, it was just such an honor to know that the fourth championship's in the bag, and the team has succeeded again, and it was amazing to be able to be among the four-time people that have done it, and it's huge to do it with something different. We've had great help along the way. It's a lot of it is the challenge that drives us, that makes us work as hard as we do and try things, and that. And I guess all the great help that went along to Terry Blackburn and Kevin Campbell that have helped us along the way, that has made it possible. It's been awesome. It's surreal. It just never does quite seem like it's there, but it's here.
So once again, Jeff Hurt will come up next, this time on the fast lane tractor. This is the one that he won this particular event on a year ago and went on to win the championship with. Another V8 monster. Well, and much like the opening round, he just does not have the magical combination just yet. Be it gear, be it RPMs, whatever the case may be, if it's down on power, whatever the magical potion is for this tractor, he just has not found it yet here this year.
When you can hear as it leaves the line, it never really cleans up fully and gets that kind of nice tight whistle that we normally hear out of the V8s out here, and just kind of lugging and chugging and really slow, sluggish, not the ground speed that we normally see out of the fast lane machines either.
They've come on board with us this year. We really appreciate their support.
So Jeff will go to work. Not only does he have his two tractors, but he helps out a lot of other competitors out here as well. He is an extremely busy individual, very knowledgeable, so a lot of people lean on him for advice. Speaking of tough players, this guy's as good as they get as well. Lessons learned coming up here, and did a great job here 1 year ago as he finished second. Neil Gettinger. Boy, front end way up in the air, and right at the very end, when it started to settle that front end down, you could actually hear the RPMs come down in the engine. That's what we talk about all the time. When the front end goes up real high to unload the back tires, then when it comes back down to the preferred height, it plants those back tires. But ladies and gentlemen, a massive lead here. 3:35 and 44. That is getting it done, Leslie.
Looking good, and he was even leaning on the brake. It looked like he was leaning on the left brake to try to bring it back around as he was getting so close to that right sideline over there. So he may have had just a little more in it.
Oh, man. Big-time pull for sure out of Neil Gettinger. There's a look at your top three. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Geico Saluda Young Farmer Truck and Tractor Pull presented by E3 Spark Plugs. We're at Saluda Young Farmers Park in Saluda, South Carolina. Kicking off the season here, this is hook number 2 for the Unlimited Superstock category. Up next is Lyall Hull. The tractor's called Out of Time, and he loved this hook 1 year ago because when all was said and done, he was on the podium, finishing 3rd. And Lyall Hull lays down a big one as well, 325.06, good enough to jump into second position.
And it looks like these guys are finding the line out here on the track, and they're just kind of making a road out here and making really solid, consistent passes. You can see maybe a little too high there. Gets back on the wheelie bars just a little bit, which brings the front end back down. And he is also leaning on the brakes to keep it in the center of the track. You can see the big fishtail there with the sled tire tracks.
Really solid effort there out of the John Deere. Great looking ride. I mean, just plain sheet metal. Looks very, very cool. Some of the young pullers and the young future pullers, if you will, out here having a good time. As we continue on, here comes Jeff Hodem. The tractor is called Fully Loaded. Awesome colors on that one, courtesy of Carlisle Professional Tools, sold exclusively at Napa Auto Parts. Man, look at the ground speed out of that thing. A big-time pull. Once again, they finally slow him down, but not before he takes the lead. 3:45 and 20.
And that's got to feel so rewarding to this team who worked so hard to get the tractor finished after the first hook. They bent an oil shaft. They had a pulley come off during that run. That's why they finished dead last in that pack 1 hook ago. And look at this. This is what the Hodem team needs there after struggling so much last year with the big block imploding and then the small block just not giving them enough power that they need. Here, just flat getting it done.
Man, he just let that thing float all the way across the track. He ended up right by the sideline, but managed to keep it in, and I don't think he ever touched that brake. Beautiful job out of Hodem. Top coming up on that thing as you take a look at the money end of it, and it looks like we got a little flame down in there. That thing's cooking itself. Maybe some fluids down in there that get on the exhaust and light up. I'll have a little bit of time to take care of that one, though, before the next hook. Andy Dutton coming up next on the Drifter 2. Great-looking old-school sheet metal on the John Deere. You hear that turbo chirp as it spools down, and Andy, one of the regional pullers here, and it looked like he just got out of his game a little bit right at the very start and really should have just held off a little bit, showed some patience, and spooled that thing back up. But he went right to the throttle, let the clutch out, and let her eat. Had to get in the brake right there at the very end to keep from going out of bounds, and it really tugged it down. Great looking tractor, though. Love the way it looks, man. Awesome. All right, Ron Bargy Sr. will be coming up here next on board Dad's Toy.
These guys always do so well here, especially picking up a podium at the first hook.
Finished 3rd in the points a year ago. Real solid effort out of this team.
Coming up here around the 13th of June, the Ohio State Benefit Pool.
He won the last 2 hooks of 2015 and comes out here and puts 341 and 28 on the board, nearly takes over the lead, but will pick up a solid second place as it stands right now.
It's just so cool to take this head-on shot here and see those giant 30.5-inch tires wobbling and digging into the dirt out there with that open rear end, and just shows you the kind of power that they're putting into the track. I saw 8 weights in the box at 2,000 pounds apiece, so 52,000 pounds of dead weight on the starting line. When they're spinning those tires in at the end of the track, we're talking about 208,000 pounds of rolling weight out there. Just phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, he could be the tractor to beat this year. If you go back and take a look at last year, he was on the podium the last 4 of 5 hooks, including 3 wins, finished second here in the opening round of 2016, and now jumps up into second again. I mean, those guys are definitely on a roll.
And we'll see what kind of tune-up Aaron Hall has put on the taking care of business machine. You can better bet he stepped it up a notch after that first hook and all that knowledge he gained.
We saw him on the out-of-time tractors just a little bit ago. You're absolutely right, Leslie. He learned something there. 344.09, misses a lead by just a little more than a foot, but jumps into second place. A great hook there.
When you can see, he just really gets after it off the starting line, gets that front end up, maybe having a little bit of a weight distribution issue there. As you can see, the front end coming up, loading those rear tires, then unloading as it comes down. So maybe just a few more of those weights moved around just a bit could have edged him out to first.
Taking care of business tractor, covered in dirt, so they'll go back and get that one cleaned up. In the meantime, we have 1 tractor left in the category. We'll get him hooked up to the sled. In the meantime, we'll take a quick break, and there's a look at your top 3. We'll be right back. We're here at the Geico Saluda Young Farmer Truck and Tractor Pull, presented by E3 Spark Plugs. Leslie Mears and Ken Stout here to call the action for you. Lots of fans in the house enjoying the best in truck and tractor pulling. Final tractor in the category. It's called Cash in the Trash. Love the name. Chris Shoemaker behind the wheel, and going back to 2015 with the season opening round here at Saluda, he stood on the podium as he finished third. And it finally pulls it down, and unfortunately too soon to jump up into that top 3 at 3:08 and 41. One more time, we'll take a look at it. You can hear this thing as the front end gets way up in the air. It actually hits the rev limiter just a bit. Listen. It frees up those back tires. They start to spin. It bumps the rev limiter, finally pulls it back down, and unfortunately that combination is not what you need to get the distance out of one of those machines that jump up there with the leaders. So he missed it just a little bit here today. In the meantime, Leslie Mears is on her way down to the podium, and she will talk to third place. Ron Bargy Sr. had a great effort today.
An excellent start to the season for Ron Bargy and Dad's Toy. How are you making it happen down here in this red clay?
Well, it's just nice dirt, and we had a good position to pull tonight. I think the track improved as evening went on, so that helped us. We tried a little trick that we do sometimes to crisscross the track, but it didn't work tonight. We fell short.
Well, you'd never know. I mean, it was a solid effort for sure, and definitely worth trying. There's a look at the points after 2 hooks. Yep, it's going to be close. It will be a battle all year long. Ron Bargy Sr., though, currently on top with Dad's Toy. So that effort to get up on the podium did pay dividends. Let's go back down to the podium and talk to second place.
Well, having a team of tractors definitely has its advantages. And Aaron, you definitely used that knowledge from your first pass to help you land in second tonight.
Yes, I changed a couple things, pulled a couple tricks, and it seemed to work out great for me. Just want to say we had a great weekend. My dad worked real hard for a win for a long time. He finally got one last night, so we got second tonight, and I want to give a big congrats out to Jeff Odom. That team's worked terribly hard. They really earned that win tonight.
And we'll take a look at the final order. Jeff Hodem, as you can see on top, followed by Aaron Hull, Ron Bargy Sr., Neil Gettinger with a solid effort as well out of the lessons learned machine. And then Aaron Hull again, followed by Lyall Hull. Those guys doing a great job. Let's go back down to the podium and talk to our winner.
Overcoming adversity in more ways than one. Jeff Hodem, you pick up your first win here on the Champions Tour to kick off the season.
I tell you what, we couldn't be more happy. We had some catastrophic failures yesterday. Fortunately, it didn't hurt a whole lot. We did repairs last night and this morning, and we were able to rock this red dirt in Saluda, South Carolina tonight.
Well, and you pick up your first win, and I know that, it's been an emotional winter for you, and, you're missing one of your team members here, so it's got to feel good, to get that win, for your dad.
It does. It really does. I wish he could be here. Wish he could be here to be with us, but it really is. Yeah.
An awesome night here for the Carlisle Napa Tools Fully Loaded.
I got to thank my sponsors, though. Before we leave, I got to thank my sponsors. Napa, Carlisle Tools, Clevite Bearings, and Breck Mueller Scales just came on board here actually this week. So we got a new sponsor, additional sponsor to our list, and really want to thank those guys. Want to thank all the crowd and everybody that supports our sport and everybody else, and Phil at Riverside Engines for building one heck of a motor.
Congrats to Jeff Hodem and the rest of that team making a great turnaround after the first hook here in Saluda to come back and win it here in hook number 2 of the season. All right, when we come back, we'll put superchargers on them. It'll be 2-wheel drive trucks. We'll do some massive wheel stands. We've got a huge field of them and tough competition.